Hi everybody, my name is Christina Vassiliou-Harvey and I'm a member of the Hamilton Township Board of Education. Today I have two books for you on autism for Autism Awareness Day. I'm wearing blue for Autism Awareness. So our first book we're going to read is My Friend Has Autism by Amanda Doering Tourville. My name is Nick. This is my friend Zach. Zach and I belong to a model airplane club. Zach has autism. Airplanes are awesome. Zach likes building bi-wing planes. Fighter jets are my favorites. Did you know autism is a brain-based disorder? With autism, parts of the brain don't grow the way they should. No one knows why. Some kids have autism. There is no cure yet. Zach knows a lot about airplanes. His nickname is Pilot. I've learned more about planes from Zach than from anybody else. Sometimes Zach goes on and on about airplanes. He repeats the same facts over and over. Did you know kids with autism have trouble communicating? They may not talk much at all. They may talk only about their interests, even when other people don't share those interests. It can seem like he's in his own world. When Zach is focused on his models, he may not talk to me at all. Did you know many kids with autism are able to focus very tightly on an interest? We work on our own planes quietly, or I'll tell him about my day. I feel like I can tell Zach anything. Zach and I play video games while we wait for the glue to dry. He's tough to beat. Sometimes I think he lets me win. Zach hears things most people don't notice. Loud noises can hurt his ears. On our field trip to the airport, he wore the coolest earmuffs ever. He looked like he worked there. Did you know many kids with autism may hear sounds or smells, odors that other people don't even notice? I wrestle with some of my other friends, but not with Zach. He feels things differently than most people. Zach doesn't like anybody touching him, not even to pin on his new wings, and that's okay. There are lots of things I don't like too. When I go to Zach's house, I bring my own models. It bothers Zach when other people touch or play with his models. Each plane has to be in just the right spot. Did you know kids with autism often spend a lot of time arranging toys or objects? It can upset them when someone moves their things. Zach may not look at me while I'm talking to him. Sometimes he walks away. Did you know many kids with autism can seem impolite? They don't understand that it's rude to walk away from someone who is talking to them. I know Zach doesn't mean to hurt my feelings. I just show him my new magazine some other time. I'm really glad I met Zach. Of all my friends, Zach is the only one who likes model airplanes. It makes me feel good to be his friend. I know that he likes being my friend too. And we have a little bit about autism. I know it was in the book, but they also have a little summary. What is autism? Autism is a brain-based disorder. Doctors don't know what causes autism, and there is no cure. Kids with autism have trouble making sense of the world around them. They don't make connections with words and feelings like most people do. Kids with autism have trouble talking with others, which makes it hard to make friends. They often spend their time alone and seem to be in their own world. Therapy can help kids with autism communicate with others and live better lives. And then there are some words that we read today. Maybe you don't know the meaning, but arranging means putting things in order. Communicating means sharing thoughts, feelings, or information. Disorder is a kind of illness that affects the mind or body. Impolite means not having good manners. Therapy means treatment for an injury or physical or mental problem. And upset is to bother or anger someone. So that's our first book. And then our second book is Ian's Walk. It's the perfect day to go to the park and feed the ducks with my big sister Tara. Except my brother wants to come along too. Aw, Ian, why don't you stay here? I say. Ian doesn't answer me, though, because he has autism. But he wraps his fingers hard against the screen and begins to whine. Oh, all right, Ian, I say. Can he come, I ask my mom. Says Mom. You'll need to watch him closely the whole time. Are you sure you want to do that? It's okay with me, I answer, and Tara nods. You hold his hand, though, Julie, she tells me. Ian's brain doesn't work like other people's. Ian sees things differently. When we pass Nan's diner, Ian steps inside to watch the ceiling fan move in slow circles. He doesn't look at the waitresses hurrying by with all kinds of sandwiches and ice cream. Let's get a soda, I say. But Ian keeps his eyes on the fan until I pull him out of the door. Ian hears things differently. When a fire truck rushes by with its siren wailing and its horn blaring, Ian hardly seems to notice, but he tilts his head sideways and seems to be listening to something I cannot hear. Hurry up, I say, tugging his arm. Ian smells things differently. At Mrs. Potter's flower stand, I hold a bouquet of sweet-smelling lilacs up to Ian's face. Ian wrinkles his nose and turns away. But when we go by the post office, Ian puts his nose against the warm, gritty bricks and sniffs the wall. Stop that, I say. You look silly. And I yank him away before anybody notices. Ian feels things differently. At the pond, I pick up a soft feather and tickle Ian under his chin. He shrieks and pushes it away, but while Tara and I toss cereal to the ducks, Ian lies on the ground with his cheek pressed against the hard stones. Get up, Ian, I say, taking his hand. Someone might step on you. Ian tastes things differently. When we go past the food booths, Ian won't even look at the pizza, hot dogs, or soft pretzels. But he reaches into my pocket for the bag of leftover cereal. Tara and I don't want to eat cereal for lunch, I tell him. Come with us while we buy some pizza. But Ian won't budge. He munches the Power Pops one by one. Sometimes Ian makes me angry. I'll get pizza, says Tara. You stay here with Ian, Julie. I sit down on the bench and wait. Sit beside me, Ian, I say. But Ian flaps his hands and pays no attention. At last, Tara comes back carrying 2 slices of gooey pizza. Where's Ian, she asks. I look at the spot where Ian was standing, but Ian is gone. My stomach does a flip-flop, and for a moment, I can't move. Tara runs up to a lady. Have you seen a little boy in a blue shirt, she cries. The lady shakes her head. Perhaps he's watching the baseball games across the parks, she suggests, but Ian doesn't like baseball. A man walks by with a little girl on his shoulder. Have you seen a boy who looks lost? I say with a jump in my throat. No, says the man, But we're on our way to hear the storyteller. Maybe he's there listening to stories. But Ian doesn't like stories. Tara rushes off to look for Ian. I squeeze my eyes shut and try to think like Ian. Ian likes the balloon stand where the big machine hisses and stretches balloons into colorful bobbing shapes. He likes the water fountain where he can put his face up close and watch the stream of water gush past his eyes. Suddenly, the old bell in the center of the park begins to ring. Bong, bong, bong. And then I remember, Ian loves the bell. I run full speed towards the bell, and there's Ian. He is lying under the bell, making the big gong move back and forth. I hug him tightly, even though he doesn't care for hugs. I see Tara near the swing and call to her. She rushes over, all out of breath, and puts her arms around us. We'll walk home the way you like, I tell Ian. We stop at the pond and let Ian play with the stones. He lines them up in a straight row along the edge of the walkway. I stand in front of him so no one steps on him. We walk right past Mrs. Potter's flower stand and stop at the post office instead. Ian sniffs all the bricks he wants, and I don't care who's watching. When Ian pauses at the corner and seems to be listening to something I cannot hear, we wait patiently, and I try to listen too. At Nan's Diner, Ian and I watch the fan until I'm dizzy. When we finally get home, I say, "It was a good walk, Ian." And for just a flash, Ian looks at me and smiles. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned a little more about autism.